Hi, welcome to my quilting beehive. I'm here with our next step in our Marvelous Mystery Quilt directions. If you are not signed up to make the Marvelous Mystery, you can look in the description below to find a link to find all the information you need. We are on our fourth part of the mystery and you're welcome to join in and you'll have plenty of time to catch up. The mystery will continue through November of this year. This month we will be making a variation of a block that's called Delectable Mountains. These are much larger than the standard Delectable Mountain block. It's my own little variation to make our tree block from last month be in the mountains. For this month's block, you're going to need to make some snowballed corners or folded corners, and I'm going to show you two different ways you can do that this month. If you look right over here, you'll see that we have one made and it's folded over. The way we do that, one way you can do it is by marking your center diagonal, and you can use, this is the quick quarter 2 ruler, and you can use that to mark your center line by lining it up corner to corner. And you're marking the center line, not the 1/4 inch away center line on it. So you can mark it like that, or you can use any ruler to draw the line. Just connect corner to corner and you can draw the line. Once you have your line marked, you need to make sure your direction is correct, because you're going to be making some of these in each direction. So when I want it to be finished like this, you want to make sure you have the line that way, so when you sew that line and you fold it back, it will end up being in that direction. If you're making one the opposite direction, you're just going to rotate it and you'll sew on that line, and when you fold it back, it will look like this. An extra little tip I have in the pattern is after you sew that, you'll have a fairly good sized piece here that is going to be cut off. That can make some half square triangles, and they end up at 3 3/4 inch. You could trim them to 3 1/2 if you wanted, but you'll end up with a lot of half square triangles if you save that piece and sew them, and you can use them for another project or save them for maybe on the back of the quilt. Once you sew your line, you're going to take any ruler and you're going to line it up so you're 1/4 inch away from the line into the small triangle side. Make sure you're not going this way. You don't want to cut off the big side. You only want to cut off the small triangle side. Line up 1/4 inch line, and you're going to trim away this extra piece. And those are the pieces you can sew together to make all those great half square triangles that you can save. Just use a 1/4 inch seam and sew them together, and you'll have more beautiful half square triangles. And this is the finished piece that we'll keep right there. If you don't like marking all those lines, there are tools you can use so you don't have to mark the lines first. If you're going to use that, you can use the Creative Grids Folded Corner Clipper, which is a great tool for this job. Or if you have the half square triangle 4-in-1 ruler, we used this last month, or the month before, I think, when we made our half square triangles, and we talked about how this ruler is the same as a folded corner clipper at this corner. It's the same angle and same markings. So you can use either one of those. If you would rather use the ruler, you would take your square and lay it on top of the rectangle. And then you have to just be careful on direction, depending on which one you're going to make. If I was going to make this one, I would lay my ruler here, and my 4 1/2 inch line, it's a 4 1/2 inch square, lines up at the bottom of the fabric. That flat spot lines up at the top edge of the fabric. And I would just cut right along that line, and then I would sew, and I don't have to mark anything, and I would have my two pieces. If you're using the Creative Grids ruler, it's the same thing. This one, the way it's worded, it says it's a 4-inch finished, 4 1/2 inch strip that's cut. So you line up that line, the 4 1/2 strip, and you'll see that black triangle hangs over the top, but your fabric lines up with the bottom of that triangle. So depending on which direction you want to make, this is to make them in this direction. But if you need to make the other direction, your angle is going to be rotated. So you're just going to rotate the ruler, and it would still be lined up the same way, and you would just cut the opposite direction. It's just a matter of rotating your ruler to the direction you need. And usually, keep your picture handy and your pattern handy to make sure you have it going the direction that matches the photograph. And now I'll cut one going this way. And you'll see right here, I have my half square triangle pieces that I can save, and now I'm just going to sew from the corner to corner. So after you trim it, you sew with a 1/4 inch seam here, and I sewed the 1/4 inch seam on the part I cut off. That gives me the half square triangle, and this one gives me the unit I need for our blocks. So most of this month you're just going to be repeating the making of these units. There are some in different fabrics. Make sure you watch the picture so they're in the right direction. Then you'll be putting them together into your mountain blocks. Some of them have a plain rectangle next to them, and some of them have the 2 small triangles. So make sure you watch your pattern, make the right directions and the right number of blocks. I hope you're having a lot of fun making the Marvelous Mystery Quilt, and I look forward to seeing what your blocks look like on our Facebook group. Thanks for joining us, and happy quilting.